This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Just in case you missed it, it's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
Well, to be honest, this is a kind of an unusual form of the Top 5 at 5. Probably the top 5 Twins trades of the day at 5 o'clock.
You'd have to rank them all.
Including it. Are we being punked? Now Griffin Jax has also been dealt to the Tampa Bay club. Is that correct? Is that confirmed?
Well,
at
Jeff
least by
Passan,
media. Yeah,
as good as it gets. He tweeted it out about a minute ago.
Add to the list, man. You want to talk about stripping it down? No trade deadline can match the Twins' approach as now we get 5 minutes past the deadline. And Lavelle giving us some bonus time today via the Connecticut Waters, what's the Water Systems Hotline?
Connecticut Water Systems Hotline.
My apologies. I should know that by now. The Connecticut Water Systems Hotline. So, are you gobsmacked that it has reached these levels where it appears, unless there's a late announcement, that literally everybody but Joe Ryan has been traded from this team?
My head's spinning, as I told Guardsy on the phone. I'm just totally waylaid by the how decisive of a sell this has been. I thought they would trade maybe 3, maybe 4 guys, but 8? They've traded 8 people. Although I'm going to point out that the Astros are reviewing Carlos Correa's medical record, so that has not been finalized yet. so let's all hold off. Because the last 2 teams that looked at his medicals had different feelings about making the transaction.
Do we have the Louis Varland trade? Is that a new one?
Varland? Are you serious?
Blue Jays.
Are you kidding me?
Rosenthal.
Come on. This is a punked episode.
They don't have a bullpen. Who's in their bullpen?
St. Paul.
Louis and Ty France. It's Louis Varland and Ty France.
Does it say something about our club that we've got so many players in demand? Does that mean we should be a hell of a lot better than our current mediocre record?
You can make that argument. You could definitely make that argument.
All right,
the fact that you were able to move Ty France, who has done nothing for them, is shocking. Varland, I thought was going to be in line to be the Twins closer after the Jax trade. Oh, Varland gets a close. The Twins don't have a closer now.
They don't even have a prospect.
Gone.
Yeah. All right, let's do
Jack's
this.
Gone, Durant gone, Varland gone.
Let's start
Niedermeyer gone.
Calm down. Let's start with Correa, and then we'll try to work our way down here because we've got plenty of time to play with, so we want to try to cover a lot of ground. To me, a crucial question is who's paying what. Because my theory is this, or has been this, on Correa. I'm willing to deal him. Given how many years he's got in his deal, I think you can consider the Twins disastrous the way they're run and still believe that it's a sensible baseball move. But, and this is a big but for me, if the Twins end up paying anywhere close to half of his remaining salary, then I wouldn't do it. I'd rather then hedge on the possibility he rebounds next year. So we keep hearing that Houston gave some on the breakdown of whose percentage on who's paying what. But do we have any idea what percentage of his remaining contract the Twins are paying?
No, and I differ from you. I would, if I could get to half, I would get out of the contract.
That's not enough.
I think it's time to move on. The Twins aren't winning.
That's true.
Correa's been mostly a disappointment here.
Yeah, but you're only getting one prospect, Lavelle. And my assumption is,
that's because the other team's still taking on over $50 million.
Well,
he's making 36 this year.
Yeah, but I want him to take on more. If there's $100 million left, I want them to take on at least 60 to 70 of it.
Well, the report this afternoon was that the Astros agreed to take on a little bit more.
Okay,
I don't know if it's 60 to 70%. We have to wait and see what the final number is.
Right.
The other thing about Houston too, they were limited, although they may have just said screw it because they were close to the luxury tax threshold.
They don't care,
and that's why they wanted. The report came out yesterday. They didn't want the Twins to pay half, and that's half of 36 this year, so it would have been 18. Maybe the Twins agreed to pay 15 or 14. To make it easier. But we have to wait and see what the final numbers are because you're right about just getting one prospect back, but that's because the Astros have taken on a whole lot of salary.
I hope you're right. I think that's the least they can do under those conditions. Of the deals, well, let's ask a more general question philosophically. Does it reach a point when it gets to this number that you say you're kind of taking away the ability of people taking you seriously as a franchise? That when you're in the sell mode, you can see where you might go down this road partway. But when you go this far down the road, aren't you asking people to mock you?
Well, I think that fans don't take the Twins organization seriously.
Well, I even mean ball guys. Yeah, I mean ball guys. I even mean ball guys and baseball as an industry in general.
Well, I think we're all still absorbing this because it's pretty massive, it's pretty extensive, and a bunch of players have gone out. I wouldn't say not taking them seriously. It was just a couple of years ago that they were in the playoffs and actually won the playoff series. So they did something right to at least achieve that year.
Well, yeah,
I think we've been
no
upset with how the ownership has performed after that.
Yes,
so
there's no players left now. You said it.
I wouldn't be at the point to totally not take them seriously anymore just because they decided to tear things down. And plus, the team's for sale. We'll probably have a new owner by next season, and this may be part of the whole plan here is to get the payroll down for the new person to come in.
But you even said it yourself, this is unprecedented. By teardown standards, even if you want to believe your premise, hey, by the way, a couple years ago, there's no players left. And the players largely you got with maybe the exception of one pitcher, one starter who I think, looks like he's might be close. In the deal we got for our closer, Duran, these guys we're back to. You're going to have to do another Star Tribune special section, silver linings for how good they have a chance to look when all these prospects are mature enough to be a factor at the major league level in the year 2030.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I was trying to write down the names of the guys they traded for. Of course, we don't know who they're getting for Correa, and I just found out the Castro guys. I'm not impressed. One is the 8th best prospect in the Cubs system. Though the Cubs have a decent farm system, the other guy doesn't move me too much. So yeah, Mick Abel, I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Looks like he's the best one here. But all these other guys are like A-ball, AA guys. So yeah, it's going to be a couple of years before we see them. This is what a teardown looks like, man. It's a teardown to the studs, and now you have to rebuild the foundation, pour the foundation, and rebuild the house here to see if it's sturdier than the one that you just tore down.
Who is the most intriguing, based on the names we know, for whatever it's worth, because it's so hard to evaluate these guys who are minor league ball players. Is there a single player where you go, he intrigues me?
Other than the pitcher from the Phillies, Abel.
Yeah.
I'm calling him Abel until I'm told it's Abel. Because, he could throw 97. It looks like he's already started 6 games in the majors this year. So we'll see him probably this year for sure. But the other guy they got, Eduardo Tate, the catcher, he was their 3rd-ranked prospect. Now, I just looked at one website that had the Phillies farm system ranked as, I think, the 4th or the 5th best of baseball. So the 3rd best prospect in a farm system that's ranked that high, that kind of raises an eyebrow at me. Now, he's a catcher. Based on what I've read about him, he's got great power potential. It looks like he can hit the ball. He's a left-handed hitter, and he's got pop. They don't know if he can stick behind the plate. So, at worst-case scenario, you've got a first baseman, which the Twins don't have right now. So he can step right in whenever he gets developed enough. So that's the one I'm going to watch here to see how he develops, because if he can stay behind the plate and be a catcher hitting for power, that's a plus here. The Henry Mendez guy, I think that's him, the outfielder, who hits for a high average and doesn't hit for power. He's another guy who intrigues me because it looks like he could play around the outfield, and it looks like he's got good bat-to-ball skills. The rest of these other guys, I'm not sure. Josh Ottman, who they got for
Brock
Stewart.
James Outman, I think.
He plays the Dodgers with 23 home runs in his rookie year.
Yeah.
But since then, he's been unable to tap that power potential. But you look at his minor league numbers, he's been able to hit homers. So this is a situation where he gets in a new environment, a new lease on life. He can kind of untap that power potential again. We'll see. He's going to get a chance to play because Harrison Bader's not here anymore. Outman will probably be starting in center field until Buxton gets healthy. So those are the guys, a couple guys that stand out to me. But right now I'm looking at a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, and actually 11 guys if I count the 2 that the Blue Jays have sent the Twins from Ireland. As that's a lot of guys coming into a farm system, man.
Castro, Duran, Paddock, Correa, Colomb, Bader, Stewart, Jacks, and Varland.
Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the great time. We love you, Dan.
That's like a historic teardown at the trade deadline, right? I got to believe the Twins have never traded this many players away at the deadline, and I'm wondering in the history of Major League Baseball where this would rank. I got to think it's top 5 of all time, isn't it?
I think it's very possible. I was talking to Garzi about that because I was trying to look back in Twins history. As recently as 2018, they had the trade deadline in which they dealt Eduardo Escobar, Ryan Presley, Zach Duke, Lance Lynn, and Brian Dozier in July of 2018. And that's the most extensive. When they traded Fernando Rodney the next month, that was before they changed the deadline. So that's the busiest I have seen going back through Twins history. I don't know what Calvin did back in the 60s or 70s or whatever, but it's pretty extensive, man. That's a lot of players. That's a jaw-dropping, gobsmacking amount of players. And this Varland one, this last one's killed me. I can't believe they traded another St. Paulica kid who's got a live arm. They might have gotten somebody good for him. I don't know these guys. Kendrys Rojas and Alan Roden, Roden, they received in return for Varland. I don't know anything about those dudes. I'd like to look them up. But I can imagine Varland under control. He's a young cat, under control, hard thrower. They may have gotten a couple of decent guys back for him.
I think we got Taj Bradley back in the Griffin Jacks trade, by the way. Did you mention that? I think that's who we're getting back there.
Taj Bradley.
Yeah.
He sounds familiar. Why does he sound familiar?
No, I think he was one of us, I think, previously.
Was he?
I thought so. Didn't look, Gargi, will you look up Taj? Double check. Not Taj Gibson. Taj Bradley. Meantime, did you see? I want to read you a quote. This is via Dan Hayes, an unnamed Twins player. This was like 4 trades ago. Now, no one wants to stay if they are willing, if they are selling like this. So my question to you is, can we any longer be certain that Byron Buxton is as certain as he sounded during All-Star Weekend that he wants to live and die a Minnesota Twin?
No, I think the reporters will probably ask him about this the next time they get to him, how he feels about what's gone on. Because my thing is, once you got to the Correa point, and if you're going to do all this with Jackson and Varland, then a couple teams may have wanted to know, hey, would Buck waive his no trade if we dealt for him? Because if I'm Buxton, I'm very frustrated right now. He lost a lot of comrades. He lost a lot of talent. He's not going to recognize, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He lost like 40% of his team right now. I wouldn't be happy if I was him.
No.
And I don't know if he's going to express his unhappiness. He's been good about hiding his true emotions, but man, he's going to look around now, recognize damn near half the clubhouse when he shows up in, I think it's Cleveland, for a series against the Guardians. So, and then this also leaks into the offseason, Dan. If Buxton sees like they're starting from scratch here, does he want to be part of it? And will he let the Twins know that he's willing to move his no-trade clause for the right team? This could be something that could be revisited during the offseason. So, this whole process, this flushing starts a whole process that can carry on into the next offseason in terms of making trades during the Hot Stove League.
Taj Bradley, always a Tampa Bay Ray.
I don't know why I thought we might have had him at some point along the way.
Jason Stark, for the record, longtime ball guy.
Yes.
He tweeted about a minute ago about all the Twins trades.
Okay.
And for his money, he said, I don't ever recall a deadline sell-off quite that massive.
Yeah, I'd be stunned. And there's stats for everything in baseball, so eventually someone will do the history on this, and I bet you what's definitely the biggest sell-off in Twins history, and my guess is it might be in MLB or close to it. For a concentrated period of time.
I'm just speculating, but they must know that they're about to sell the team. I'm wondering if they know. If they've got enough traction going on with a new owner coming in that they decide to clear their decks for the new owner. I don't have any shred of hard evidence to support that.
Right.
I'm just speculating right now.
But are you of the belief that this makes the team more attractive to a new owner? Because I don't buy that.
Well, here's the thing, but the new owner now could come in with his own people maybe. I don't know if Falvey would be part of the team going forward, or Rocco. They may come in with their own personnel, and they can build it the way they want it. They can put their stamp on the organization.
Is it possible? Well, can we take it a step further if you want to go conspiracy theory? That the new owner has already said, sell off as much as you can. Sell off as much as you can so we can, in effect, because I think right now in payroll coming back, we have like $8. So we can start from scratch and do whatever we want with the it's like a blank slate.
That's interesting because as a White Sox fan, I remember, I think Bill was about to sell to Reinsdorf and Einhorn, and all of a sudden the White Sox are kind of in the playoff race. And next thing you know, they're made trades, they have payroll. And the joke was at the time was that the future owners, it may have been Ed DeBartolo, when they were flirting with DeBartolo, that the new owners were floating money to the Twins to the White Sox to add players and pay for their salaries. So I'm sure since we're in the conspiracy theory mode here, it can't be too far-fetched, could it?
No, at this point, nothing can be. Although I would say, if I'm a new owner, I want to keep some of the talent, because some of these players, you've said it. If you say, okay, we like the haul we get on our closer, but part of the reason we're willing to do it is we got a couple other people we think have a chance to be decent closers as well. No, that doesn't mean another trade that I'm aware of, but apparently the Twins will be traveling by Amtrak for road games the rest of this season. That's also been announced.
So this has become Major League. And the guys they traded, I can understand Paddock and Bader. I can understand Duran. Yes. I just thought they would trade one of Duran or Jax.
Exactly.
I didn't think they'd trade both.
Me too.
And I didn't think they'd trade Varland. So the last two trades you threw on me really have taken me for a loop here.
Yeah.
Castro, yep. Get it. Colomb, yep. Brock Stewart, yep. Correa. Wasn't sure if that was possible, and I woke up this morning. So that one kind of surprised me. But the fact they got out from under the contract. And here's the thing, too. Maybe the Twins got to the point with Correa, because I think he was he was trade number 5 on the list. Then maybe at that point the Twins were like, you know what? Let's just keep tearing it down. And then that's when they pushed the buttons on some other guys.
What time's your apology to the Twins regarding the return in the Carlos Correa deal? Time's your apology. We got the name now.
Who is it?
Chandler Rome is the Astros beat writer at The Athletic. He is reporting.
I know him.
Okay, then you know him. He is reporting that in return for Correa, the Twins will receive high A left-hander Matt Mikulski. That's the prospect they're getting in return. He is a high A, not double A, not triple A, but a high A left-handed pitcher, Matt Mikulski. There you go. Read it and weep. Boom.
Boy. Well, that's what happens when you're making the other team take on a lot of salary, man. You're not going to get a lot back in return. At least he's left-handed. The Twins don't have any. The Twins don't have any left-handed start. Is he a starter, at least? Do we know, or is he a reliever?
He's listed just as a lefty, so I don't know. I'll try to do some inciting on him now. I don't. He is
not listed among the Astros' top 30 prospects.
What?
Not.
Are you serious?
He's not listed among the top 30.
Come on, man. What the hell's going on here? This was a one.
They really were motivated to get rid of Payroll.
I guess.
How you spell Mikowski?
It's spelled Mikulski. Mikulski. Wow. I think he started his college career at Baseball Power Fordham.
He's 26 years old.
He's 26. That works. That's
at high A.
So he's 20. He's 26, and he hasn't pitched above high A.
My God.
He pitched it for Asheville in the Sally League in 9 games. Oh, he's a reliever now. He's no longer a starter.
Yeah, they've given up on him as a starter. He looks very tall on the mound. Looks very tall. In nine relief appearances, he's got a 5.68 ERA. He's
6'4",
205 pounds. He's another big one.
He can strike out guys, but he walks everybody. He's got a 7.1. It's in the Sally League. He has 7.1 walk per 9 innings rate. That's ridiculous.
He has pitched in the majors a little bit this. No, I'm sorry. This is the minors. ERA is 7.63. Is that true?
Yeah. No, 7.63. I haven't seen that.
Here's what I see. MILB career stats: 9-12 record, 108 games, 6.46 earned run average. That can't be real, can it?
Oh, that's true. There it is. I'm looking at it right now. 6.46. Yep. He's thrown 200 innings. He's given up 240 hits in 225 innings. He's given up 33 home runs in 225 innings. And he's walked 144 batters in those 225 innings.
Hey, what did you make of... Wow. So that all sounds pleasing and comforting and very encouraging. What did you make of the dramatics yesterday in the getaway day game where apparently Jax was bitter? He got put on the mound late, stunk, then got bitter with Rocco for pulling him. Then you got players faking like they're saying goodbye to everybody in the clubhouse like they got traded. It just seemed like there was a lot of weirdness involving this team yesterday at the ballpark. Well, do you know much about it? What do you make of it?
Yeah, I was there, and I was in the clubhouse afterwards. I thought it was really a weird scene because the thing is, Rocco didn't speak. When the clubhouse was open, and Rocco didn't talk to us for an hour. So for an hour, the reporters are in the clubhouse kind of just loitering around, and then by now, Willie Castro had been pulled out of the game.
Right.
You know, Duran was there, so they started asking Castro and Duran if they had been traded, you know, and Willie's like, no, I have not been told anything, you know. Duran, the same thing, you know. So it was just strange they had to endure that. And I thought when Willie left the game, well, Rocco said he had just decided at the last second that he would just get Willie off the field and pat him on the back for, you know, playing hard and trying to give in his all. I thought it was a lie. I thought that the Twins knew that Willie was in the trade and they wanted to get him off the field before he hurt himself. And eventually he was traded. But with Jax, I think Rocco said that, you know, after Jax, there was really just based on usage that week, there's no one he really wanted to put out there. So he's hoping Jax can come in and pitch an inning. And after Jax gave up, 3 consecutive hits or something like that, Rocco said, well, forget this. I'm just going to go to Cody Clemens pitching. So Jax, after the game, Jax apologized. He apologized to Rocco, and he told us after the game that he apologized for his behavior. He should not be thinking of himself. He should be thinking about the team. So I'm thinking when Rocco came out, Jack sees Rocco come out. He knows that he was the last pitcher. He knows that a position player is probably going to come in and pitch in the net. That pitcher's probably going to allow all the runs the base runners he put on to score, and to affect his ERA. So I think that's why he was a little pissy when he left the mound, of which he, you know, came to his senses afterwards and apologized to everyone. So that on top of just this weird scene of us standing around in the clubhouse, which I hate doing. Like sometimes I'll leave a clubhouse and kind of stand outside the entrance just so I don't look like I'm just loitering, but everybody was just waiting for Rocco to address the media. But, he was in his office. Fabi was in there, so they were going over something. I think that's when they spoke to Correa during that whole time frame. And it was just a strange vibe in there, with when everybody was surrounding Willie Castro, I'm like looking around the clubhouse and players are like standing, looking over there going, has Willie been traded?
Yeah.
And stuff like that was going on, man. It was just a weird scene.
We're hearing now that the breakdown on salary is the Twins are going to send $30 million. It's either 30 or 33. I've seen two different reports to Houston. So let's say it's 30. And that would mean, I think there's $100 million left about on the deal. So that means 70. That means the Astros are on the hook for 70. That's much better than 50-50.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's the fact that Twins are writing a check for $30 million is huge to me. I hope they have it. That's a big number for them. But, they took a swing at Correa. It didn't work. And, when you start operating on the high end of the baseball economy, you have to figure out ways to get out from under bad contracts, and this is the way you have to do it sometimes. The other time it happens when they signed Donaldson, which wasn't, to as much as Correa's contract, I will admit. But after a year, after they saw what Donaldson meant in the clubhouse, they figured out a way to get out from under that one. So they were able to pull it off. We're going to see a different team starting tomorrow on the road, and I can't wait to see who they call up from St. Paul. I don't know if you were on Twitter today, but the St. Paul Saints had made a breaking news announcement that they had signed a corporate sponsorship deal to have a patch on their uniform, and the patch read, "Hello, my name is," with a space for the new person to write their name.
Well played. I tell you what, man, I can't wait to. I'm hoping we see Mikulski. I can't wait to see him toe the rubber at Target Field. Honest to God, I can't wait for that. Big, tall, rangy guy like that. Can't wait. Is it not true, finally, because we got to go, Luigi's waiting, we're not going to get more than 5,000 people in the, literally, I'm talking about in the seats. I don't mean tickets sold. There's not going to be more than 5,000 people for any game the rest of this season, the last 2 months, and I'm serious.
Well, I think they've sold 5,000 seats. Now, what may happen, Dan, is September is going to look ugly. Once school starts, and NFL seasons here, it may be rather sparse in Target Field because of all this.
Very likely. Lavelle, we're going to
see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
What time? Regular time?
We'll work on that. Probably regular time, but out at training camp.
Okay, I gotta let the Vikings staff know I'm coming out there because I don't know if I have the pass to allow me on the premises, so I gotta start working on that.
Why do you do that privately?
We'll leave that to you. Thank you, Lavelle. Neal III. Come back and talk to Luigi. He's got some hockey stuff he wants to run down. Maybe we'll get his reaction to a team. Did he ever come close to stripping down the North Stars to this degree at the
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
A deadline. Stay.
Well, she sneaks around the world from India to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me, where in the world is
Lou Nanne?
My sources say he intended to be in studio, but it turns out he ran into the same roadblock that Guardsy and I did. Back-to-back exits shut down, leaving you with not much choice but to either stay on 394 for like another 2 miles and circle back, or get on 100 and circle back after a couple of miles as well. So, Luigi, eventually, I think you made the right choice by just saying the hell with it. I'll just talk to him by phone.
Oh, that's for sure. I was going to surprise you when I come and see you, but I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
and you couldn't go down on 394. Traffic was stopped.
Yes.
It was just back to back. The traffic is so bad now. Actually, it's a good thing I know my way around the university. This morning I was going there for the press conference for the junior hockey, and I left an hour early, and I got the Mint Pass, so I was fine getting down to Minneapolis downtown, cut through town on 3rd, and then the back road getting up to 4th Avenue, and then it's down to one lane. And if I didn't know my way around the campus, I might have still been trying to get to their meeting because the traffic there was just bumper to bumper and stopped. I cut through back ways and got there. There can't be any unemployment in the States. They got to have enough people working on these roads.
Stunning.
It's amazing.
It's look, I'm not a great MnDOT mind. I'm sure it's a real challenge to plan construction in a state that has 9 months of winter. Okay, I get it. But in all seriousness, the number of times where it's like, okay, we're not only going to take away one avenue, we're going to take away two. Like for people who say, okay, I get it. You got to close this spot, this exit, so I'll take the next one. You close them both, and this happens all the time where you say to people, you're not giving us an option. Help us. At least give us an opportunity to get to where we want to be. It almost seems like it's a sick joke.
Well, you're right. If you don't know your way around town, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to find out where you're going because I've never. This is the worst I've ever seen. I don't know which roads are going to be open or closed, and if you're not up to date, you can't be driving all of a sudden. Like I came across those two exits, I couldn't get there. Not only I couldn't get there, then you get on a lane that takes forever to move.
It's remarkable.
Now, a lot of times I come over and see you guys. And
well, you know what, though?
Then I try to figure I might as well just get home.
There's a part of me that says you should be disqualified from complaining about any of this. You're here like 1.5 months out of the year now. And, you're Florida guy now. And so I think you've lost your Minnesota bona fides. I'm sorry. You're not doing the state high school hockey tournament anymore. You're largely in Florida. The rest of your time you're traveling, and you come to Minnesota like maybe every June and July a bit, and that's it.
Yeah, but what do you want me to do? You want me to say it's great to be stuck in traffic? No, I'm trying.
Yeah.
All I want to do is know it's closed. It's hard to know because there's nothing closed every day, and you know what? Or you didn't hear it, then I'm just saying you get surprised. I'm not doing any more complaining than anybody else because it's pretty difficult for everybody right now.
Yeah,
and I don't know if there's somebody out there that loves traffic and loves to be, going stop and start for 2 miles an hour. I don't know them.
Yeah, I guess by now I'm surprised you just don't have a driver. I mean,
I'm still working at 84.
Well, you could have a driver. You can work and have a driver.
Gas, let alone a driver.
Yeah, of course you are. That's it. That's the problem. All right, so you mentioned
Mason.
What's the hockey deal? What was the press conference that you attended today? What's this all about? What's happening?
Well, the World Juniors, as you know, is coming December 26th and January 5th, and you're going to have 10 teams here. It's just the most magnificent tournament you can have outside of the Olympics. And we're very fortunate that we're getting here in Minnesota, and it's something. All you have to know is when you're going to watch this tournament, 5 years from now, they're going to be the superstars in the league. That's what every one of the superstars in the league now played there when their junior time was upon them. But now they got 4 nations, just sort of a tryout camp. You got Canada, Finland, and Sweden. And they're playing over at Ritter Arena, and Saturday they got 2 games, and Canada's going to be playing U.S., Finland playing Sweden at 4 o'clock. And they were just talking about the teams over there, the players that were there trying out, the plans for the tournament, and it's something, I think, like 7,000 packages. Somebody told me today, I hope that's correct, that we're already still sold to the Canadians, but
wow.
And they're saying, they ask me, why is this so important for Minnesota? I said, Minnesota leads the whole country. And kids that are playing hockey, kids that have, most guys in NHL, most guys in college, and not just men. It's men and women. And you know, this past year, the U.S. won the World Championship men. They won the junior gold. They won women's, and they won the sled hockey. No country's ever done that. That's four gold medals. The U.S. hockey right now is big, and Minnesota's leading the way. And we're very, very fortunate to be getting that World Championships at XL and 3M at Mariucci, December 26th to the 5th. And so they were just telling us about what's going on in the camp. And there are tickets for sale to go to, if anybody wants to go and see the games, and especially your kids, to some great hockey. You're going to see excellent hockey Saturday. They should take the opportunity to go to Ritter and see these games. People don't realize how big this is. It's really, really above anything else that they could think of. We got the greatest high school hockey, but this is a step above. And so I think parents should be taking their kids to this kind of turnaround around Christmas, because this is something special that their kids, boys and girls, can aspire to. We're very fortunate. We haven't had it since '82, and we got it now, and it's something that I'm so proud that Minnesota's got it, because it could show off the state. You know, we've had so much bad publicity. Now the chance to say good publicity, and it's like a 24-hour-a-day commercial around the world. So we're fortunate to have it.
I've got a couple more questions about the event, and then I want to ask you about some other stuff that in which you might have some good answers to give us, as always. It's going to be, but let's get a quick pause in part 2 with our guide Luigi, who stunningly is in town, Dinkytown, earlier today as well. More Louie and a lot more trade conversation before we wrap it up.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero. Is it in you?
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home, and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
6:30. Lou Nanne part 2 right here on the Fan. Refresh my memory, Louie. The big World Juniors event. Where were we playing the games?
Well, some of the games, all the U.S. games will be played at, now it's called the Grand Casino Arena. It used to be XL. And the Canadian games, these are the preliminary round, will be played at 3M at Mariucci. The good part is there are going to be exhibition games before that around the state, like in Duluth, Rochester, Mankato, I think, are all getting games, in Bemidji. So some of the exhibition games before the 26th will be played there.
Like you said, you've been on top of this for quite a while, and it should be. I think it's one of those events too for a lot of people. When we get really close to it, I think you're going to get people a lot more, excited.
Yeah,
who are obviously completely connected to hockey at all levels in the great state of Minnesota.
I agree with you. I think that as you get in hockey season, and you're going to be hearing more about the tournament, and you're going to see the kids that are playing. All the great players in the league have played in it, and Musko was talking about today when he was coaching, and the best player in the tournament that year was Kaprisov, and he didn't come to the Wild, I think, 3-4 years after he was drafted before he came, because he had that contract in Russia. But you get to see all the kids, the great kids, like the Davidson, Matthews, all the great kids from all the countries will be playing in the tournament that are 18 or 19, 17 even, if like Gavin McKenna, he might turn 18 by then, I think. But the #1 draft pick, Schaefer, he's going to be there from Canada, who was picked #1. So it's a good opportunity to see these kids before they become the best in the league, but as the kids that are best in junior.
Tomorrow is August 1st, Louis, as I'm sure you're aware, and Kaprizov is still not signed.
Yep, and that's what I told you before. When they don't sign him on the first day, when they don't announce that, I get concerned, and I'm still concerned. And I know it's probably going on. I'm sure the agent is trying to find out.
Yep.
McDavid's in the same situation, and everybody wants to see what McDavid's going to do. And I don't know where he's. You hear rumors he wants to go to Toronto, this and that. Well, Toronto's got no salary cap space, and you'd have to deal a guy like Matthews to get the space and create that. And Matthews got a no trade. He's not going to go from Toronto to Edmonton. And you know that his contract's going to be 18 or 19 million. So the agent's using that, but that doesn't concern me as much because the agent could get whatever he wants right now up to the max from the Wild. And what is he going to try and do? Find a team that's got that kind of salary cap space? And usually those teams don't have the roster's ready to make a Stanley Cup run, so why leave?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, like you say, I'm sure there's a lot of behind-the-scenes maneuvering going on, and all it takes is one announcement, right? And then it goes away. But it is, I think, just the way it works, that until the deal is done, there's going to be very understandable nervousness. Is there any part of you that wonders whether the agent and Kaprizov might actually prefer a shorter deal, bigger money each year? And if you're in Guerin's shoes, would you actually consider that, given the fact that he's been hurt a little bit the last year, or is this got to be long term all the way?
Well, Dan, there's no bigger money. They'll pay him max right now.
Right, that's true.
What they want.
Yes.
All he's got to say is, I'm leaving if you don't give me max, you'll get max.
Right.
So there's no bigger money, and so he's going to get the maximum. Now, would the agent try that? He could try that, knowing that the salary cap is going to be exploding.
Yep.
It's 3 years going over $100 million, and then you can get 20% of what is going to be 105, say, so you're over $20 million. Mm-hmm. And now he get around 18 to 19, and I can't see the agent wanting to do that when he's getting a percentage of the contract, and knowing that Kaprizov's had a couple injuries. Why would he?
Right.
Why would he waste 4 years at say 18 million, which is 72 million, and say he gets 3%? Why would he chance that? If he's an agent, he's going to convince Kaprizov to do whatever he wants him to do, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so I can't see the agent wanting that, just to gamble on getting an extra $2 million a year for 4 years, or even $5 million a year. That's $20 million. So he makes just 3%. Is he going to gamble that whole deal? I wouldn't if I was the agent.
Let me do a quick count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Twins, since Monday, Louis, have traded 10 players. Now, you've been a general manager. I'm guessing there's trade deadlines where you've been more in a mode of, who we kidding? Maybe we got to move on a couple people. But in your history, have you ever heard of any team in any sport trading 10 players, including several significant players as well, right before the trade deadline? And what does it tell you about the future?
You asked the best question. I was listening on my way home when you said, what do the prospective new owners think of this? I can't see these owners sitting there saying, yeah, go ahead, we're going to pay $1.6 billion, $6 billion, $7 billion, whatever it's going to be, right, to buy the Twins, and to buy a team that has lost some of their star power. Now, you could say what you want, that, well, they got money to go out and get free agents. I'd rather have some of the players,
exactly,
like a Duran, like a Jax, that have performed, and they got good contracts for you to be with, and keep them as I'm purchasing a team, knowing I don't have to fill those holes. And if you're going to fill those holes, right now it looks like you're going to have to pay more money to fill those holes. Yeah. I'm not understanding this, and I'm sure they got some reasons to do it, but it's not apparent to me. I if I'm buying that kind of asset, that kind of team, and paying that kind of money, yes, I want to have flexibility.
Sure.
But I want the core.
At least
I want
some.
to keep the core.
Yeah, at least a few.
A couple of the guys are the core.
Yeah, it is. It's stunning. As I said, I'm sure the baseball historians will do the research on it. I'm certain it's the greatest sell-off in Twins history at this number because it includes Ty Francis, the 10th player traded. He was part of the Varland deal. But I think what's going to be interesting to see is it may well be in baseball history. I got to believe it's top 5. It may even be closer to the top than that. We'll have to see. What's the closest you ever came to a sell-off with the North Stars?
Never had. Didn't even come close.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that kind of thinking, and my owners, the Gunn brothers, didn't have that kind of thinking. I just. We didn't have the opportunity. You have to remember also to get players that quickly with free agency.
That's true.
No free agency.
Right.
So that was maybe one big reason. But I think it's too tough to replace so many players. There can't be. I don't recall anywhere in the history of baseball, and I follow baseball, that I've seen a sell-off of this many players. I can't recall it. And you might have had some drips and drags of some people. Some teams maybe selling players in June and July, and maybe to get up to that number. I still can't remember. That's such a significant number. I can't recall any other team having that kind of sell-off of their players.
Yeah, it's like I said, there'll be a lot of reporting done, and maybe there's going to be some. These stories will be fleshed out a little bit about what the thinking was, because I think Lavelle wondered whether, if you want to believe conspiracy theories, that we know who the new owner is and they've ordered this. I refuse to believe they would order it at this level. Again, I could see some, but I can't see to this number because, as you mentioned, it sounds good to say, well, we got nobody under contract, so we can start with a blank slate. As you know, Louis, that often means nothing because it doesn't mean you're going to get every player you want. And so you have to have at least a core of players. I wondered, Byron Buxton made a big deal at the All-Star break because his name was coming up as rumored to be of interest to some teams because he's been healthier this year, notwithstanding most recently, and played really well. And he said, I'm a Twin. I got no trade, and I'm happy being a Twin, and I'm going to always be a Twin. I love that feeling. Well, now you got to go back to him and say, do you want to be a Twin at this point, don't you? I mean, that's the question now when you gut it to the degree that it's been gutted.
I can't believe that he's not going to be offended by this and not maybe take a look and says, well, do I really want to be here? Would I rather go back to, isn't he from Atlanta? Say to Atlanta or something.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I still can't even believe anybody's paying the kind of money they're paying to buy a franchise
right.
to say that this is the way they want to come in and start off.
Right.
You have to keep key pieces. And a couple of those guys are really key pieces. They had a few nice players there that they traded off.
Yes.
You can't tell me that 4 or 5 of those guys aren't guys that can play anywhere in the league. They're that good. And to give them up and try and replace them, which you're saying, are you giving them up to replace them at a cheaper price? That's not going to happen.
Right.
We know that just watching contracts every year.
There's no question.
So I can't see the thinking. Whoever's the new owners, I know Lavelle and every other sports writer, broadcaster, everybody else has got to, as the opening question of these guys, got to say, were you involved in getting this team?
No question,
selling those 10 players, and why would you do that? That's what I would be asking.
Absolutely, 100%. It is stunning. Good to catch up, my friend. We appreciate it as always. We'll talk. We'll talk soon, depending on breaking stories and maybe Kaprisov news.
We'll see Louis on the State Fair too.
That's right, State Fair. Now it's coming.
Be there on the 26th.
We even got a date for you already? Outstanding. Yeah. That's even better. We'll see you then.
Okay, look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Luigi. Appreciate you. Luigi, Lou Nanne, brought to you by our good friends at Kemp's. We got a half hour to go. Let's sort of, I guess, set the table for what has been one of the most tumultuous days, literally, in Minnesota Twins history. And I don't know if you're already kind of established from an ownership standpoint as a laughingstock, I don't know if you could say, and this is the day the team officially became one, because they already, to a certain extent, were that. But if there's another word for it beyond laughingstock, they may be worthy of it. We'll review all of a very busy day in Twins.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home, and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
History when we come back. Okay, so here's the, I think, official list of who the Twins have traded just since, what's today? Thursday?
Thursday, July 31st.
Since Monday. Trade deadline was hit officially at 5 o'clock Central Time, correct?
Yes.
Now, is Major League Baseball like the NBA, where there still might be a couple of announcements as they vet
Not at this
contracts
point.
Or something?
I mean, the Griffin Jacks one came through a little late, a couple of minutes after, but...
well, didn't the Varland one come even after that?
Varland was after that one, yep.
So here's the complete list in case you've missed it. Castro, Duran, Paddock, Correa, depending on the physical, Colum, Bader, Stewart, Jax, Varland, and France.
The job is done. We can go home now.
I never thought it'd be possible that for this date, this calendar date, July 31st, that for calamity, any deal or series of deals could ever supplant the KG deal to the Boston Celtics. But I think if you put this all together as a concept, this feels more calamitous. Because this feels like a franchise that has already sort of stripped itself of much of any of its credibility for the way they've handled, ownership has handled things for 2 years, basically since the right size and the payroll nonsense. This feels like you are almost asking or demanding that people don't take you seriously as an organization, that they'll laugh at you. That you have, if you're not already there, have become a joke. This feels like, at this point, a joke. And this comes from somebody who has tried to actually defend the concept of trading Carlos Correa. But when you go down this far the road of other legitimate Major League Baseball players, I'm just left shaking my head and saying, what a sad and pathetic day in Minnesota sports history. This goes beyond any single calamity in terms of even the concession you're making the moment you have to trade KG, because that was obviously the big concession. We know he's capable of winning a title, but we don't know how to build around him. So we're giving up the ghost, right? This feels like something more insidious, more sinister to me. Again, can you make individually the argument that, yeah, okay, you got a good bullpen, you can get some prospects, you trade away one or two of those folks? Yeah, but the whole point is, well, if you're going to trade Duran, maybe you keep Jax. If you're going to trade Duran and Jax, maybe you keep Varland. They traded them all. They've left themselves with almost no suitable professional options. This, to me, as of this date, July 31st, this has ceased being a Major League Baseball team. Literally. And I'll say, Louie and I talked about it. I can't believe that the new owner is behind the scenes, he's the puppeteer saying
another one. More.
Keep going.
Again.
It's not enough.
Why is Jack still on the team?
Yes.
What about France? Who's this guy?
Doesn't make sense. Now, again, some of these guys, you go, okay, fine. Bader, fine. Kalum, fine. If you want. Paddock, even, you could say, fine. But not when you keep going to the degree they've gone. So it's stunning. I mean, I guess the only thing I'm saying is I'm glad we're on the air to do it in real time.
It's been an interesting day. A very memorable day.
Yes, it's certainly kept us. I didn't even come close to. I'd say I got to about 20% of what I intended to before the show began. Because even with the deals they'd already made by that point, I'm thinking, okay, well, there's a lot of other directions we can go, including, and maybe we'll get to it tomorrow, the ridiculous Sidney Sweeney nonsense, which we haven't even covered, which just says you can't even make up. But I think what started to trigger something that, all right, we got to go all hands on deck here, obviously, was the Correa deal got sort of revitalized. When it seemed yesterday that it was losing momentum, right? And then suddenly, that was pretty early in the show, wasn't it?
It was first segment.
Was it first segment? Yeah.
Within 5 or 6 minutes.
And again, I was actually trying to say, depending on who's paying most of his contract, and now it's apparently official, Houston is basically doing, what would it be, close to 70%. Twins are at on the hook for 30%, $30 million.
Pretty much.
In that range, maybe 33. Okay. Yeah. Now, I will admit, we did kind of Discovery Radio on the player we got with Lavelle in the interim, because for a while we didn't know who we got. And then we come to find out we got a 6'4" career minor leaguer named Matt Mikulski with a career minor league ERA at the age of 26, by the way.
Yeah.
Of 6.46. And you go,
late bloomer.
What are we doing? What's going on here? Because you think, okay, we're not going to get the top 10 prospect because Houston's saying, we're taking that contract off your hands. No one else in baseball would be stupid enough to do that. And they might be right. But when you go down to these levels, you go, really? That didn't seem particularly encouraging. So my question now is, does Buxton want to stay? In all seriousness, does the third baseman want to stay, even though he hasn't played all that well? Does Rocco want to manage? I guess you never turn down a job, but what's he managing now? It's a gutted team that goes well beyond, all right, we're selling, and we're going to see what we can get, and if there's some prospects we like, then we're going to make a move or two. But I thought, as I said, especially as it pertains, now, the good news, I guess, if you want to find a silver lining, Joe Ryan was not traded as far as we know. That's right. For whatever. And there's almost a part of me that says, well, why bother?
Well, I think because
Joe Ryan probably doesn't want to be here now.
He's slated to start tomorrow night, and they need somebody. They don't have a bullpen left.
That's true.
So Joe's probably going to go about 8 tomorrow, regardless.
I mean, I wonder who the player was who anonymously told Dan Hayes, nobody wants to be around here. Might have been Joe Ryan.
Well, how many are left again?
That's true.
The clubhouse was cut in half today, basically.
I mean, if you're Buck, honestly, I'd actually be concerned about your competitiveness if you still want to be here under these conditions. Now, maybe the Ishbia wannabe, who's going to end up buying this team, presumably, we'll end up immediately building the payroll to $250 million with a series of splashy moves. And by the way, that never works in a single year. You can't literally replenish a roster in a single year. And again, even if you like some of these prospects, they're years away, with probably the exception
of the Phillies pitcher.
The Phillies pitcher we got in the Durant deal, right? Pretty much everybody else is either A-ball or mid-level AA, a while away. And that's why we suggested, not so gently, to Lavelle, you can always reprise the silver lining special section about projecting what the 2030 Twins lineup will look like.
I think you're thinking too big. I think with one of their local TV partners, Fox 9, they need to do a second edition of the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour.
Not a bad thought.
And just let the Twins go.
You might be right.
Why not?
I wonder if you're Buxton, don't you milk your injury now for the rest of the season? Why do you want to play?
Yeah, ribs are hurting.
Ribs have got to be bad. Got to be really tender the rest of the way. Let's come back and wrap up a very controversial and busy show and remind you of what we have coming next from Vikings.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero, is it in you?
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at ipvanish.com/audio.
Training camp on...
Show wrap presented by American Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the bumper-to-bumper show wrap.
1st and 10 from his own 2-yard line. Goff takes the snap, play action. Metellus blitzes, is picked up. Goff with a deep shot to absolutely nobody except Harrison Smith. And Harrison Smith picked off an awful Jared Goff pass. And for Harrison Smith, that is his 37th interception of his career. And just like that, the Vikings have turned over the Detroit Lions.
So, with that soundbite, are you telling me that Josh Metellus is going to join us at the exclusive KFAN Radio Perch, or Paul Allen is going to join us again? Or Jared Goff is going to join us? Or Harrison Smith is going to join us?
You like how I layered that throw?
Oh,
I layered it.
Yes.
Metellus, Bursich, PA.
Yes.
The legend, Harrison Smith. We didn't know if he was coming back or not.
I think we had him last year, too.
We did.
That's good.
Yes,
That's
so Hitman will join you tomorrow at the Perch.
Back at training camp tomorrow, we expect bonus Lavelle. Actually, today was bonus Lavelle, but he may be at training camp tomorrow as well if he ever gets his credential. I hope to God he did. He had to let us know on air that he needed to work on that.
So good.
Much appreciated from, I'm sure, Vikings media relations. And who knows who else might be out there tomorrow as we return to training camp yet again. I guess I owe Randy Dobnak an apology. We've traded away 11 players, not 10.
That's true.
Dobnak, I mean, again, he's not a main guy, but he's a guy.
Which trade was he involved in? Paddock's, right?
The Paddock deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we traded 11 players since Monday. Not 10, but 11 players since then as well. Matt, I think, is taking exception with my suggesting this feels more calamitous than Garnett. Might that be recency bias? Maybe. It's hard not to get worked up by this, but I think given that we may have seen history made yesterday, well, these 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I guess 4 days, I'll still say that if I won't quibble with, it is extremely calamitous in its own way and represents also a failure, right? The failure with Garnett was, we admit it, we do not know how to build around
We can't do it.
In this case, it seems to be we're admitting that we have failed maybe all the way across the board to the point where we're going to not even, because you could at least say the players the Wolves got back were not great players, but they were pro players.
Big Al.
And Al, Big Al actually wasn't bad. And in this case, it's a bunch of nobodies, maybes, and somebodies. We'll see. So you want to pick which is more calamitous, go ahead. The fact that there's one that can even rival KG is enough for me to say this date, July 31st, now becomes one of the most calamitous on the Minnesota sports calendar of calamity. It feels like a team that finally officially says, yes, you're right. You have no reason to take us or anything about what we do seriously in any way, shape, or form. Fan outdoors, because it is indeed Thursday night. Oh, Gessling tomorrow, too. Ben Gessling, Friday regular, will join us from the perch as well. Outstanding, Dr. Dan, inbox entries today. Outstanding talkbacks today. Everybody on fire, I think, rose to the occasion, and we appreciate the interest. We'll talk to you tomorrow from the perch, Eagan, Minnesota. Vikings training camp beginning at 3.
If you ever go to Houston, got to walk right, got to keep your hands deep in your pocket and your gun belt tight. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the great time. We love you, Dan.
Well, go Twins. Thank you for the airtime, and I'll talk to you soon.
Gatorade Zero, the #1 proven electrolyte blend, made with zero sugar. Designed to hydrate better than water so you can lose more sweat and push more limits. Gatorade Zero. Is it in you?
Did you know using your browser in incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Take back your privacy with IPVanish VPN. Just one tap and all your data, passwords, communications, browsing history, and more will be instantly protected. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. Use IPVanish on all your devices, anytime you go online at home and especially on public Wi-Fi. Get IPVanish now for 70% off a yearly plan with this exclusive offer at IPVanish.com/audio.